Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review Ryuhei Kitamura's The Doorman. And this is a new action film starring Ruby Rose that came out on streaming over the past couple weeks. And it's about a woman who used to be in the military. A tragic death of somebody she was meant to protect leads her to leave, and she winds up being a doorman in this hotel. And it just so happens, as it turns out, her brother-in-law and her niece and nephew wind up living there. Them and this older couple are the only ones left in the hotel during a renovation. And of course, during this time, a group of criminals led by Jean Renault and his main henchman, played by Excel Heaney, take over the building. And in general, this feels very derivative of a lot of other action films. The basic setup feels very Die Hard. Jean Reno's character feels very Hans Gruber-esque. He's like a classy criminal, except it's not as intelligent as, or at least not as pragmatic as Hans Gruber, as he's just like, this is my plan, and this is my name. And he just tells all these people his name, tells them his plans, and really doesn't seem like he cares too much about what's going on. And, like, the action sequences are pretty solid. Ruby Rose does a solid, serviceable job as a leading actor in a action flick. This film has some of that, tries to have some of that emotional depth, and of course it also utilizes a similar thread that Eva did with Jessica Chastain, and the fact that, like, they totally was something between her and her brother-in-law, and they have those elements. They have her building this relationship with her niece and nephew, and overall, this film is pretty bland. It's pretty straightforward. Nothing's gonna really surprise you, and there's certain aspects that I did appreciate, because I was really afraid, like, the climax of this film was going to be her fighting Jean Renault, since he was the main bad guy, and I don't want to see Ruby Rose getting in a fist fight with, like, a 60-something-year-old Jean Renault. So, positives, they didn't do that. I'm not going to say what the climax was of the film in particular, because I don't want to give that away. And there's an effort to give a little bit of twists and unexpected turns in the story, but after a while it gets pretty repetitive of she does something to throw them off track, they catch her, she's back on the run, and in the end, a lot of that family drama wasn't the most affecting or fleshed out. And it just kind of felt like, okay, they had this in there, so there's some other layers to this film besides, like, just former soldier in the wrong place at the wrong time kind of story. And like I said, the action is fine. Overall, this film is probably going to be pretty forgettable. But the thing is, if you love action movies and you just want to, like, fill that void right now, Doorman is perfectly fine and serviceable to fill that void of, like, I want to watch an action movie. Is it going to be something that you're going to cherish and be like, one of my favorite action movies out there? No. You might forget this pretty quickly after watching it. But The Doorman does what it's supposed to do and gives you some thrills along with trying to make emotional connection. One of those works more than the other one does. But in the end, it's an okay action film that's a little too derivative of other ones and a little too lazy in some of its writing. But in the end, those are my thoughts. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.